But this monthly meeting of the Fall River Housing Authority Board of Commissioners is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Charlie Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020. This order implemented a state of emergency in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as a direct result of the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so that reasonable public access is afforded and the public can follow along with the deliberations of this meeting. This meeting will include time for public comment as it has noted in the agenda and resident comment as noted on the agenda as well. All supporting materials have been provided to the members of this board, and the public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. Each vote taken at this meeting, I just want to point out, because it's a remote meeting, will require a roll call vote by the Board of Commissioners. And pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Attendees are further advised that the Fall River Housing Authority is making a recording of this meeting. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Attorney Souza. Martha, will you take a roll call, please?
Yes, Chairwoman Sahadi,
Here.
Vice Chairman Underhill,
Here.
Commissioner Burns,
Here.
Commissioner Tache,
Present.
Commissioner Bentley.
Here.
Thank you. Executive Director Barrows, do we have any citizen input this evening?
If there's any citizen that is currently called in, please feel free to speak.
Hearing none and seeing none, do we have any resident input for this evening?
Yes, you don't mind?
Please state your name for the record, your name and your address.
Ed
before you
Gagnon,
speak.
Ed Gagnon, 1284 GAR Highway, Swansea, Mass, to the Executive Director of the Fall River Joint Tenants Council. Just wanted to let the commissioners know that this coming Saturday, this coming Saturday, we'll be making our first soup delivery, thanks to Tim with the freezer, to O'Brien Apartments, Bishop Eade, and Cardinal Madeira. So we'll be using the brown bag program to distribute a single serving of soup and a single serving of chili to every resident who gets a brown bag. And I don't want to neglect to mention, Rita LeBeau was nice enough to help me and distribute soup at Baresi Heights last Wednesday, and she's going to do it every other Wednesday for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Are there any other residents wanting to speak this evening? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on. The next item on the agenda is the minutes of the postponed regular meeting held on November 9th, 2020. The recommended action is to accept.
Commissioner Burns.
Motion to
make a
accept.
motion to accept.
Commissioner Burns,
Do I have a second?
yep, Commissioner Underhill,
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
we have,
Believe we have to do a roll call,
Yes.
correct,
Oh,
Martha?
Yes.
yes. Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Tache,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
Yes.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Next item are bills and communications. In your packet, you have the vouchers. The recommended action is to accept those vouchers. Do I have a motion to accept the vouchers?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Tache,
Yes.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Also in your packet are the management reports. The 7 reports are applications. Occupancy report, the tenants accounts receivable report, the work order report, the monthly Section 8 voucher activity report, the monthly personnel count, as well as the Director of Modernization monthly report. Do I have a motion to accept these reports?
Motion to accept.
Commissioner Burns
Second.
seconds.
Do we have any questions to any of our staff that are here this evening to answer any questions with regard to any of these reports? Hearing no questions, Martha, will you take a roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Bentley,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Tache,
yes,
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. In your packet is the financial reports from the Director of Finance. These are the monthly financial reports through October 2020. Do I have a motion to accept the reports?
Motion to accept.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Melissa, who is with us this evening?
I would just ask Melissa if there's anything of significance she needs to report back.
Hi, good evening. Yeah, if I could just take a couple of minutes, that would be great. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the only thing that I wanted to talk quickly about is just the state and federal programs are all doing well. You know, our rents are holding steady despite COVID, and the CARES Act money is starting to absorb some of those COVID-related expenses. HUD recently extended the deadline on COVID monies. So we have now until December 31st of 2021 to use those funds, which is helpful in us continuing to provide, you know, our safety protocols that we've put in place with respect to cleaning, sanitizing, and security for our vulnerable populations. And the only other thing I would note is that we did receive approximately 89,000 of state funds, but those have not been extended. And so in the next couple of weeks, we'll be doing a final accounting of that $89,000 to ensure that it's all been spent and that we have the appropriate documentation to support those expenditures. And then the one final thing I wanted to mention, or really just to say, is a thank you to our finance team for their work over the last couple of weeks. We have, or they have, I should say, worked particularly hard to process all of the recently approved payroll increases. So the incentive, the COLA, and the longevity payments are all getting wrapped up as we speak.
Okay, excellent. Out of curiosity, Ms. Mello, when did HUD extend the date to December 21? Was it recently?
I believe it was in October. It was an October memo, and there's been some back and forth between differentiating between Treasury funds and the COVID CARES Act funds. So we did get some final documentation and support from our auditors to conclude that the state Treasury funds are the ones that expire this calendar year, excuse me, and the CARES Act funds that are through HUD have been extended for that 1 year period.
Excellent, thank you.
Sure.
I just need to do the vote.
Exactly. Hearing nothing else, could you take the vote, Martha, please?
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Tache,
yes.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Item 6 on the agenda is an update from our Executive Director, Tim.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Good evening, everyone. The first item I have tonight is an update on our 2021 agency plan. We submit this annually to HUD. For the first time this year, it will also be going to DHCD. And so far, the Deputy Executive Director and his staff had held 2 meetings with the Resident Advisory Board. They reviewed the capital plan program, talked about the impact of COVID-19 on the maintenance operations, and presented a few updates regarding the Section 8 program, as well as, excuse me, reviewing the resident intern program. The final meeting with the RAB will be this Wednesday, and that'll be followed by a public hearing January 6th. And then eventually at the January meeting, the board should adopt that plan and we'll send it on to HUD. The second item is an update on how COVID-19 is impacting us. Since Thanksgiving, we've had about 7 employees, it is 7, who have tested positive of COVID-19. We've had another 11 employees who were quarantined due to having come in contact with someone who was COVID positive. And of those 7 who tested positive, 3 are still out. And of the 11 who are quarantined, all but 1 have returned, and those others did subsequently test negative. One thing we looked at, and to assist us more quickly in being able to identify those COVID-affected employees, Tim Burke reached out to the Fall River Fire Department. They do testing up at the north end of the city. So he's arranged, any employee who has a need to be tested will go up there. The Housing Authority will pay the bill, which is reimbursable through our CARES funding. And this is a rapid test, so it's a 24-hour turnaround. Sometimes results come back in the same day if the test is done early enough. So this will preclude employees from having to wait and find out where they can go to get tested. I know some employees have even gone down to New Bedford. So this should be a big help too. Now regarding the residents, we have 22 residents that listed or identified as either COVID positive or being in quarantine due to contact. All our information is anecdotal. Either the resident themselves will let us know. It could be a neighbor letting us know. It could come from some other source. So, we do maintain this list, and it's important because it notifies maintenance and our administrative staff if they have a need to enter the unit, of what the status is there, so they can take appropriate precautions or possibly not even enter the unit. So, it's 22 cases, but we do have 2,200 units. That's about 1% of our unit population. I think the city is somewhere around 1.5%, I would say, of the population. So we're in the ballpark. We're not seeing any aberrant surge or comparative to the community at large. And, we do continue to stress the importance of social distancing, wearing of the face mask and the hand washing. We do have safety protocols already in place. When a maintenance staff member enters a unit, the tenant is told not to be in the same room with that employee. And if there is any problem to that sort, the employee can leave the building and report this to the supervisor. We continue to require contract tracing from all our employees and to notify us if at any point during a day they were in contact with someone for 15 minutes or more. And this is per the CDC guidelines in terms of maintaining a safe social distance. Also on the agenda tonight, you'll see under personnel, we have several items. Recently, we've had a good number of announced and pending retirements and some other situations causing the employee turnover. So we are backfilling a Section 8 clerk position and a maintenance leader position. We're very pleased that the Section 8 position is being filled from someone coming out of the resident intern program. So it doesn't always work. We've had a few residents come on staff, but unfortunately it didn't work out, but we're very helpful with this new hire. So, it's a great program and we think it's going in the right direction. We do make sure all these residents are qualified. They go through the background checks as well. So, we don't cut any corners there, but it is great that we can provide an opportunity to our own residents. And let's see, the final, well, we do also have, before I move on, there is another item for backfilling 3 permanent maintenance mechanic positions. We have that posted, or we're seeking permission to post it. We currently have 3 temporary mechanics. So likely these 3 temporary mechanics will slide over into those permanent positions. And then starting sometime in January, February, Kevin, myself, the various directors will be getting together and looking at our overall administrative and maintenance staffing needs and see what moves or actions we need to take at that time. My final item tonight is regarding our 689 properties. The Housing Authority owns 5 of these and they're spread throughout the city. We lease them to departments such as Department of Mental Health, LifeStream people, and they in turn run what I'd call a group home program. So one of the properties is located at 229 Highland Avenue, which has been vacant for several years. It's in need of extensive repairs. We've had DHC down a couple times. They've worked up a cost estimate and it's well north of $600,000 to get this unit back up, or this building back up and running. So given that is an extraordinary amount of money, we've had some preliminary discussions about what other avenues could be made available that will keep the program running, but may not require such expense outlay. I guess we're kind of fortunate. The local hospital has contacted DHCD and expressed an interest in that very property. That property abuts the hospital. So from our point of view, I think as long as we had a building and the program and we're able to lease it out, that's all we're interested in. So if there was some way the hospital could find an alternative property that would be acceptable to DHCD, acceptable to the authority, then that might be an avenue to go through. As you know, there are many disposition and 30B rules regarding procurement and disposing of property. So one avenue, this might actually require special legislation at some point, but DHCD has indicated to me they are continuing to review the options as well as working with the IG to make sure all the laws are complied with if this is an option that the board would be amenable to going with. But I'll keep you updated as things develop in this area. And Madam Chair, that does conclude my report for the evening.
Thank you, Executive Director. Does anyone have any questions of Director Barrows? Hearing no questions, we'll move on to new business. The first item is a certificate of substantial completion for the exterior building envelope repairs phase 2 at Bates Tower Apartments. The recommended action is approval.
Commissioner Tache, move for adoption.
Mr. Burns, second.
Do you have any questions?
I do not.
Hearing no questions. Martha, can we take a roll call, please?
Yes, Commissioner Tache,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
Yes.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. The next item is a certificate of completion consolidated for the roof replacement at Benny Costa Plaza. Recommended action is approval.
Commissioner Tache, move for adoption.
Commissioner Burns, second.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none. Martha, take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Tache,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
Yes.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Item C is the contract award for the elevator modernization at Raymond D. Holmes Apartment. The recommended action is to award the contract to the low bidder, Cardinal Contracting Company, Inc., in the amount of $926,600.
Commissioner Tache, move for adoption.
Second.
Second.
Any questions? You have in your packet the general bid results. Hearing no questions. Martha, with the roll call?
Commissioner Tache,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Item D is a contract award for the fire alarm control panel upgrades at Cardinal Madeira's Towers and Mitchell Heights. The recommended action is to award the contract to the low bidder, M-V Electrical Contractors, Inc., in the amount of $79,125, contingent upon receipt of positive references.
Commissioner Tache, move for adoption.
Commissioner Burns, second.
Questions? Discussion? Hearing none. Martha?
Commissioner Tache,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Abstain.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Item E is a certificate of substantial completion for the playground removal at Maple Gardens. The recommended action is approval contingent upon the approval by DHCD.
Commissioner Tache, move for adoption.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or concerns? Martha, please take a roll call.
Commissioner Tache,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
Yes.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Item F is a change order number 1 for the playground removal at Maple Gardens. This change order is an increase of $7,100 to the contract amount for the removal of 6 playground asphalt sidewalks. The recommended action is approval contingent upon approval by DHCD.
Commissioner Tache, move for adoption.
Thank you. Wait a second.
Commissioner Burns, second.
Thank you. Any questions on this matter? Discussion? Martha, please.
Commissioner
roll call.
Tache,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Next item is a contract award for the on-call trades. That includes plumbing, carpentry, electrical, painting, glass fabrication, and repair. The recommended action is a 1-year contract to Joseph Benakuk, electrician or electrical, O'Brien Plumbing and Heating for the plumbing, All Phase Property Maintenance and Repair for the painting, EJR Properties for the carpentry, Collins Construction for carpentry, Door and Glass Innovations for the glass fabrication and repair, and the amount not to exceed $50,000 per contractor. And you have some information in your packet with regard to this item.
Move. Commissioner Tache, move for adoption.
Second.
Does anyone have any questions of Mr. Burke? Hearing no questions. Martha?
Commissioner Tache,
yes,
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
yes,
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Item B is a contract award for on-call trades for floor repairs and asphalt/cement work. The recommended action is to award a one-year contract to Industrial Concrete Solutions, all-phase property maintenance, Joe's Carpenter, in the amount not to exceed $50,000 per contractor.
Commissioner Tache, move for adoption.
second,
Any questions for Mr. Burke?
Just real quick, these contracts, these are not to replace our internal employees. This is to complete work when the internal employees cannot get to that, correct?
The Commissioner, this is Executive Director. That's correct. And then in some of these cases, we don't actually do the work ourselves. So it's whether they can't do the work or we just have too much work for those services.
Reese, thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Martha, please take a roll call.
Commissioner Tache,
Yes,
Commissioner Bentley,
yes,
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Item C is contract awards for the purchase of plumbing fixtures. The recommended action is to award a one-year contract to Simon Supply and Plumber Supply in the amount not to exceed $40,000 per contractor.
Commissioner Tache, move for adoption.
Commissioner Burns, second.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. Martha, please take a
Commissioner
roll call.
Tache,
Yes,
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley, Commissioner Bentley,
yes,
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Item D is the Fall River Joint Tenants Council, Inc. Executive Director's Contract to award a one-year contract to Ed Gagnon of Edward Gagnon Associates in the amount not to exceed $25 per hour. It's an hourly contract.
Commissioner Tache, move for adoption.
Commissioner Burns, second.
Any questions regarding the contract? Hearing none. Martha, please take a roll call.
Commissioner Tache,
Yes,
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Present.
Commissioner Bentley,
yes,
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Item 3 on the agenda are personnel issues. Item 3A is the retirement of employees. The recommended action is to approve the retirement of Jeffrey Mitchell effective October 31, 2020, and Gail Riley effective December 11th, 2020.
Commissioner Burns, motion to approve both retirements.
Second.
Any comments? Questions? I think at this point, we need to thank both Mr. Mitchell and Ms. Riley for their hard work that they have done for the Housing Authority over their years of employment with us. Martha, can you take a roll call on that?
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Tache,
yes,
Commissioner Bentley,
yes,
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Item 3B is a maintenance mechanic / floater positions. There are 3 positions and the recommended action is to approve the in-house postings for the 3 positions.
Motion to approve.
The-
Commissioner Burns.
Second.
Thank you. Martha? please.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Tache,
yes,
Commissioner Bentley,
yes,
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Item C is the clerk interviewer position. This is for section 8. The recommended action is to ratify the appointment of Sarah Gonchar.
Commissioner Burns, motion to ratify the appointment.
Commissioner Tache, second,
Thank you. Martha, roll call, please.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Tache,
yes,
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
yes,
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. And item D is an interim leader position. The recommended action here is to ratify the appointment of Patrick Corbin.
Commissioner
Motion to
Tache, move for adoption.
Second.
I think Commissioner Underhill seconded the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not hear him.
Didn't either.
Martha,
Thank
can you
you.
take a roll call, please?
Commissioner Tache,
Yes,
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
yes,
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Item E is to discuss the status of the upcoming union arbitration. This particular item anticipates executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss the strategies with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and that the chair so declares. And as the chairman, I will note that for the record, that if any discussion relative to the union arbitration activity is taken up in open session, it will have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the Florida Housing Authority. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Commissioner Burns, motion to go into executive session.
Commissioner Bentley, second,
Thank you. Martha, can you take a roll call,
Yes.
please?
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
yes,
Commissioner Tache,
yes,
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. We are going into executive session. Executive Director Barrows, should we do the executive session by phone, or are we going to, does someone have control to eliminate those from this meeting?
Yes, that's correct. Tim Burke is able to control who's in the meeting. He'll be making sure everyone who's not supposed to be in the meeting will be in a so-called waiting room, which means they cannot hear the conversation or view it.
Excellent, thank you.
I just need 2 seconds and I'll stop moving them to the waiting room. Anyone that doesn't want to go in the waiting room could just leave the meeting also.
Tim Burke.
I believe everybody on.
Up there. Are you all set, Tim Burke?
Yeah, it looks like everybody left, should be in the executive session.
Okay. All I see is the board and the staff that are supposed to be here. So looks good to me. And did you stop the recording or?
I just need a motion and a second, please.
Motion to come out of executive session. Commissioner Burns.
Chairwoman Sahadi, everybody in the waiting room is now back in if you want to commence.
Yeah, so, thank you very much. So we are back in open session. At this point, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Commissioner Burns, motion to adjourn.
Second, Commissioner Underhill.
Martha?
Yes, Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Tache,
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley,
Yes.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, and everyone have happy and safe holidays.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Everyone, thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.